Welcome to This is Utah. I'm your host, Liz Adeola.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you feel like you're on Mars right now?
Yes.
I'm Liz Adeola, and I am so excited to take you on a quick trip around the Beehive State for this episode of This is Utah. He's pushing boundaries and making people think outside of the box, one green Jell-O mold at a time. What was your favorite toy as a child? For me, it was a Rubik's Cube like this one right here. Don't ask me to solve it. We don't have that much time. Every summer, people take streamliners, roadsters, motorcycles, and more that they build in places like this to shoot the salt and try to set a world record.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh,
That
wow.
came off real clean, didn't it?
It did. I felt
Liz,
nothing.
A souvenir from
Thank
the
you.
real yo-yo man.
Thank you very much. When you're around the Olympic Oval, the need for speed beckons. Jerrica Tandyman answered that call as a child and is now an Olympic speed skater. Catch her in action, she's like fire on ice. So we asked Jerrica to slow down long enough to share what fuels her. The human stories began around 13,000 years ago. Clovis people hunted mammoth here. A walk down bustling 25th Street here in Ogden would draw your ear to the swinging jazz and blues music of the time. Utah's Storyteller doesn't stop there. For behind-the-scenes footage, extended video, and stories on demand, head to This Is Utah's Facebook and Instagram pages.
It was the most diverse, eclectic group of advocates that had ever come together to fight for and champion the creation of a monument in the history of this country.
The fight comes to a head in the winter of 2016. Representative Bishop's bill is all but dead. President Obama's term is about to end. Time is running out.
I had said all along, we believe these areas warrant protection, and we do have the authority to act through presidential authority. We'd rather work with you, and we did on drafting assistance and so on. But if you don't act, we will.
President Barack Obama signs a proclamation creating the Bears Ears National Monument on December 28, 2016. There's no fanfare, just a document posted on the White House website. It says, rising from the center of the southeastern Utah landscape and visible from every direction are twin buttes so distinctive that in each of the native languages of the region, their name is the same. Bears Ears. What was your favorite toy as a child? For me, it was a Rubik's Cube like this one right here. Don't ask me to solve it. We don't have that much time. For Utah native Dale Meyerberg, his most cherished gift is one that has taken him around the world to places like Australia and Japan, teaching him valuable life lessons.
Down and up. That's the first trick in yo-yo. Let me introduce myself, folks. My name's Dale Meyerberg. I'm Utah's own world-class yo-yo man. I thought it looked like an incredible toy. He's a mean dog. Ouch! That's a dog bite. I didn't believe that you could make something go down and up like that. I've since learned that you can make it do a lot more than that.
Especially when you combine the small plastic toy and the malleable human spirit.
Life's a pretty special thing. It's really nice. It has its ups and downs, literally. My brother brought a yo-yo home. I think he was 14 and I was 5 years old, and he'd borrowed it from a friend, and I was intrigued by it. I was a little skinny kid and I wasn't good at sports or anything like that, and I picked the yo-yo up and immediately had a dream of becoming a yo-yo man. This trick, the two-handed loop-the-loop, is Dale's favorite. There's just something about this steady stream of sound. If you close your eyes, you might be able to feel it too. Yeah, it's like a zen.
A melodic medicine that, for Dale, cures all that ails him.
Had a hole in my heart, but then I acquired bladder cancer, and I got through that, and I'm 13 and a half years cancer-free.
Yo-yo still in hand.
And the yo-yo comes up, ready to yo. Why quit? If I'd have quit, I'd have probably gave up and been gone a long time ago.
He's traveled throughout Utah and the world for decades, teaching people, young and old, how to yo.
The traveling yo-yo men that traveled around with Duncan Yo-Yo back in the 50s, they took a shining to me, and they taught me a lot of tricks that they wouldn't teach everybody, because I picked them up pretty quick. This is the first string trick I ever learned, the brain twister. Round and around, 1, 2, 3. I was always really nervous when I competed, but I kept doing it. Challenge, it's a challenge, you know, you're going after a dream, and it took me a while to achieve that dream.
This Utah native is a world yo-yo champion, one of 4 yo-yo grandmasters in the world. That means the man you see right here dedicated his life to the sport and changed the way that people like you and me yo-yo.
These are world records that I held.
Records that helped him land a spot in the Yo-Yo Hall of Fame.
They hired me to go on the kiddie TV shows back in the 50s. There were shows like Uncle Roscoe, Engineer Ron, Sheriff Jim, Captain Casey, and a bunch of fun shows. I found that it made me a mini celebrity.
Performing with the Smothers Brothers, Roy Acuff, Leon Redbone, Donny Osmond, Telly Savalas, and Andy Richter.
Yo-yo magic, over the wrist once, over the wrist twice, over the pinky, and it comes back like magic. I just love doing it, and it's incredible. It's, you're making me think back about it. I've had a lot of incredible feelings.
Dale has a yo-yo collection you won't see anywhere else, featuring yo-yos of different colors, shapes, and sizes.
That's from the 2002 Olympics. I'm a small-timer that got to do a couple of big-time things. I found that I can get through anything I need to get through, no matter how hard it is, you know, if I just keep a good attitude and practice the wisdom that I've learned over the years. Through the yo-yo competitions and everything, I started gaining a lot more wisdom in life, overcoming resentments, overcoming disappointments. Stop. Make it go again. I learned that it's okay to lose. It's okay not to win everything. You're still a winner, and you know, the more gracious you are about losing, the more of a winner you are.
So I decided to take a page from Dale's Book of Courage for one of his most dangerous tricks.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, now I've done this trick over 25,000 times. Only put 2 people in the hospital, and only one of them died. So percentage-wise, I've got a real good safety record. This is only the second most dangerous yo-yo trick in the world. Whoa!
Oh my gosh,
that
wow.
came off real clean, didn't it?
It did. I felt nothing.
A souvenir from
Thank
the
you.
real yo-yo man.
Thank you very much.
Correspondent Liz Adeola of member station KUED in Salt Lake City has our report.
University of Utah freshman Sheely Edwards has logged many a mile walking the sidewalks this campaign season.
I've been doing canvassing, I've been doing phone calls and sending text messages.
At 18, Edwards serves as an intern for the Ben McAdams campaign. McAdams is running a tight race in the 4th Congressional District against Republican incumbent Mia Love, who is backed by Mitt Romney. It is the most contentious race on the Utah midterm election ballot, and even has some people wondering if the Beehive State will turn blue and if millennials will help tip the scales.
I think there's a huge stigma and misconception around the fact that your vote doesn't count, whereas in local elections, of course, it counts significantly, especially in states that are concerned about switching from red to blue or blue to red, vice versa. I mean, it all comes down to your local elections.
Days before the election, prospective voters sit here at the Hinckley Institute of Politics, located on the campus of the University of Utah.
It is terrific to have the younger generation and older generation coming together today to share interests in important public policy matters.
They're also here to find answers.
You know, if the legislature does create its own map, how that process would work.
Before they vote on key issues.
Mass killings of concert goers in Las Vegas, Nevada, and high school students in Parkland, Florida, have brought gun violence back as a primary issue in our political life.
Edwards says her political life was just beginning last spring when tragedy struck at Parkland. She lived in Maryland at the time and was drawn to march with thousands of student activists in the March for Our Lives rally in D.C. I asked her if there's still momentum in the movement.
I hope that that energy will then translate to them voting. I know a lot of them already have. But yeah, I think it's that connection, I think, between seeing involvement in politics as a solution to a lot of the problems that they see around them.